Welcome to the world of billionaires, where everything seems fancy and amazing. But did you know there's a hidden side to it all? We're going to talk about 10 super rich people who did some really bad stuff. They didn't just bend the rules, they broke them. From doing secret crimes to trying to get away with it, these rich folks will make you think twice about what it means to have lots of money. Get ready to hear all the juicy details about their wrongdoing. But here's the big question: can you handle the shocking truth behind all the wealth and power? If you want to stay tuned for more eye-opening stories like this, make sure to subscribe to Luxmind Media. And don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed uncovering the truth about the world of billionaires. Escobar's luxury prison escape. Pablo Escobar was a big-time drug dealer in Colombia. He got in trouble for selling drugs, and when the police were about to catch him, he came up with a crazy idea. He asked the government to build him a super fancy jail. And guess what? They actually agreed. They gave him a huge piece of land where he built his own luxury prison. This prison was like a fancy hotel. It had everything you could imagine, like a big comfy bed, a private gym, and even a disco where he could throw parties. There was even a waterfall. Despite being locked up, people thought he was still running his illegal business from inside the prison. Escobar's story shows how powerful people can sometimes get away with doing bad things, even when they're supposed to be in trouble. It's a reminder that money and influence can sometimes bend the rules, no matter how serious the crime. Jeffrey Epstein's blackmail empire. Jeffrey Epstein, a billionaire financier with shadowy ties, wielded his wealth as a shield against justice. Amid mounting allegations of sex trafficking and exploitation of underage girls, Epstein resorted to blackmail to safeguard his freedom. Armed with a trove of damning evidence, including clandestine recordings of prominent figures engaging in illicit activities, Epstein leveraged his connections to evade accountability. Despite facing multiple charges, Epstein maneuvered through legal loopholes, securing a lenient sentence and the privilege of conducting business from behind bars. However, his untimely demise before revealing his incriminating evidence left lingering questions and fueled conspiracy theories. Elizabeth Holmes' pregnancy ploy. Elizabeth Holmes, hailed as a visionary entrepreneur, orchestrated one of Silicon Valley's most spectacular frauds. Promising revolutionary advancements in healthcare technology, Holmes captivated investors with her charismatic persona. However, beneath the facade of innovation lurked a web of deception. When confronted with allegations of defrauding investors of nearly $900 million, Holmes resorted to desperate measures to evade accountability. Exploiting societal norms, she strategically announced her pregnancy, delaying her trial and buying precious time to mount a defense. Yet justice prevailed as Holmes was ultimately found guilty and sentenced to serve time behind bars. El Chapo's great escapes. Widely regarded as one of the most notorious drug lords in history, El Chapo, or Joaquin Guzman, mastered the art of escape. Despite facing multiple arrests, Guzman's vast wealth and influence enabled him to orchestrate daring prison breaks. From bribing guards to tunneling his way to freedom, El Chapo's audacious escapes captured the world's attention. Despite relentless pursuit by law enforcement agencies, Guzman's criminal escapades finally met their end when he was extradited to the United States and handed a life sentence. Stripped of his billions, Guzman's reign of terror came to a dramatic close. John Kapoor's opioid empire. John Kapoor was a big boss in the pharmaceutical industry. He made a lot of money by doing bad things. His company, Insys Therapeutics, sold very strong painkillers. These drugs made many people addicted and caused a lot of problems in America. Kapoor didn't care about the harm his drugs caused. He used illegal ways to make doctors give his drugs to people who didn't really need them. He bribed doctors and gave them money to prescribe his dangerous drugs. Because of what Kapoor did, many people got addicted to opioids and many died from overdoses. Even though Kapoor tried to avoid getting in trouble, his crimes were discovered. He was found guilty of serious charges like racketeering. He was sent to prison for a long time. This shows that even powerful people can't get away with hurting others for their own profit. Robert Maxwell's Vanishing Act. Robert Maxwell was a very rich man who owned a lot of companies that made newspapers and other media stuff, but he was not a good person. He did bad things with money, like stealing it and lying about it. He wanted more and more money, so he took from his own companies to make himself richer. People started to find out about what he was doing, and they got really angry. They said he was cheating and tricking people. The government started looking into what he was doing, and everyone found out that he was doing really bad stuff with money. Instead of facing the consequences of his actions, Maxwell tried to run away. He disappeared from his boat, and people couldn't find him for a while. But eventually they found his dead body. People were shocked and sad because he had done so many bad things. After he died, everyone realized how much harm he had caused. People lost their jobs, and many lost their savings because of what he did. His story serves as a warning about what happens when people are greedy and dishonest. Silvio Berlusconi's political scandals. Silvio Berlusconi was a very rich man who became the leader of Italy. He was in charge 3 times, but his time in power was full of problems. He was also accused of doing bad things with young women, but he managed to avoid serious trouble. Even though he was in a lot of trouble with the law, Berlusconi was good at using his money and friends to stay out of real trouble. One big scandal was when he was accused of having a relationship with an underage girl and trying to cover it up, but he managed to escape punishment. Berlusconi owned a lot of TV channels and newspapers, so he could control what people heard about him. This helped him to keep his power and influence for a long time. Even though he had many problems, Berlusconi was popular with some people. They liked his promises of making Italy better and giving them jobs. So, despite all the bad things he was accused of, he remained an important figure in Italian politics for many years. In the end, Silvio Berlusconi's time as a leader is remembered for both the good things he did and the bad things he got away with. Sam Bankman-Fried's crypto crimes. Sam Bankman-Fried, a prodigious figure in the world of cryptocurrency, amassed a fortune through dubious means. Behind the facade of FTX, a thriving crypto exchange, Bankman-Fried orchestrated a complex web of fraud and deceit. Using his platform to siphon funds and manipulate markets, Bankman-Fried's illicit activities culminated in convictions for fraud, conspiracy, and money laundering. His downfall serves as a cautionary tale of unchecked ambition and moral bankruptcy in the digital age. Alan Stanford's Ponzi scheme. Alan Stanford, once hailed as a titan of finance, descended into infamy with a colossal Ponzi scheme that defrauded investors of billions. Exploiting trust and leveraging his financial empire, Stanford lured unsuspecting victims into a web of deceit, promising astronomical returns on investments. Despite attempts to conceal his crimes, Stanford's empire crumbled under the weight of regulatory scrutiny, leading to a lengthy prison sentence and a staggering financial penalty. Jamie Botin's art smuggling. Jamie Botin, a billionaire art collector, found himself embroiled in a high-stakes game of cat and mouse with the law. Attempting to smuggle a prized Picasso painting out of Spain, Botin's audacious scheme unraveled when intercepted by French customs officials. Facing charges of art smuggling and contravening export laws, Botin's ill-fated endeavor exposed the lengths to which the wealthy will go to circumvent legal boundaries. Isabelle Dos Santos' alleged embezzlement. Isabelle Dos Santos, once hailed as Africa's wealthiest woman, faced a reckoning as allegations of embezzlement and money laundering surfaced. Leveraging her familial ties to Angola's political elite, Dos Santos amassed a vast fortune through dubious means. However, leaked documents shed light on her alleged involvement in illicit financial activities, prompting international scrutiny and legal action. Dos Santos' fall from grace serves as a cautionary tale of unchecked privilege and the perils of ill-gotten wealth. So, as we wrap up these stories of 10 billionaires, it's clear that wealth and privilege don't always lead to happy endings. From drug lords to financial tycoons, their lives show us the dark side of power and money. But one thing stands out. No matter how rich or powerful someone is, they can't escape justice forever. These stories remind us that even the wealthiest among us can't avoid accountability. As we continue to grapple with issues like inequality and corruption, these tales serve as a reminder that justice is always chasing after those who try to evade it. So, what do you think? Do these cautionary tales make you rethink the way we view wealth and power in our society?